Yokoso, 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 konbanwa, arigato gozaimasu. Welcome once again. It's Monday. Stadia Monday Night Chat. Yes, here we are. I am your host, of course, Clive Illenden, for another packed Stadia Monday Night Chat. Lot to talk about. Should be a good one. Might get a little bit ranty, which can be entertaining for some, and a little bit controversial. We'll see how far I go. Lovely to see those in chat already. Excellent as... Oh, straight away. Not messing about. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Dave. Dave, MTLQC there. Yeah, sup man, for the subscription. Thank you, sir. Arigato gozaimasu, as they say. Anyway, as I said, lovely to see you all in the chat. Yes. Hello, Skull. I think it is going to be a good one. I hope it's a good one. I say that, I never quite know, but I feel it's a big good one. Yeah, Jerome, Monday already, as ever. Been playing the Darksiders. Reminds me, of course, let me know what games you've been playing down in chat as well. Always like to see what sort of the games du jour are, the games of the day, as it were, are playing. As I say, shout out to Dave again for that subscription. Much appreciated. Oh my gosh, we're honoured. Four Scars Gaming is in the house. Four Scars Gaming gets a shout out later on in the show today. For revealing some interesting information, exciting information. Yo, my brother from another mother, there he goes. Project Storm, hello sir, lovely to see you. Indeed, Jack the Mac is making moves. Oh, chamomile tea. I've just had a bit of rooibos, red bush, yeah, a bit of rooibos. Rooibos. I do like a bit of rooibos. No caffeine, I think. Inled, lovely to see you, sir. Cloudbusters. We're all good. Anyway, as I said, let me know what you've been playing in the chat. Always interesting to see what you've all been playing. As for me, I've had a busy old week. I've not played as much as I normally play. I've still been, trudging along with Far Cry 5 and Judgment. Been loving, of course, Judgment. Lord Kensal played a bit of Judgment last week, and I carried on later afterwards, actually. Obviously, I was playing it before, left it for a while, because we've got so many blooming games to play. I'm getting a backlog, and we'll come to some of the games that have launched that I haven't got round to getting yet, and I really want to kind of play as well. But it's been kind of crazy. It's been kind of crazy. Cloudbuster's waiting on his Huel. I had my, for those that don't know, I do reviews of Huel meal replacement products. Yeah, I had my mac and cheese. If you've not seen the video, it is very tasty, sir. Spiritfarer, surprised at how good it is. Excellent. PUBG, yeah, love that game. It's a potato of a game, but there's something very addictive about it. I still play it, even though I'm no good. Still put the hours in. Hey, Proto.p, lovely to see you, sir. Just in time. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, oh yeah, before I forget, of course, just in case you forget, don't assume you've done it, hit them likes, yeah? Hit them likes, because I like it, YouTube likes it, and it helps people like you find content like this. And if you are new here, like the great Dave earlier on, right? Don't assume you're subbed. Just because you come every week and watch, double check that you're subbed. Hit that subscription button, toggle that notification bell, so you know when I go live with content like this. Right. Darksiders 2 and Legend of the Keepers. I haven't got round to Legend of the Keepers. I hear a lot of things about it. I'm not sure it's my sort of game. And yet I hear a lot of people saying, no, don't sleep on Keepers. Darksiders I've been enjoying. Geek the Sneak, lovely to see you, sir. Yeah, my girlfriend plays a lot of PUBG without me sometimes. Yeah, and meet some interesting people. Jerry, how are you, sir? Lovely to see you. Right, the GNUs. Well, last week I talked about how August is a bit of a quiet month, and yet I summarized all the stuff that happened in August, including about 3 or 4, I can't remember now, like 3 weekends, game releases, stuff. As I said, once you look at stuff in like in monthly chunks, you realize how much is going on. But I also said I had a feeling that things were going to start ramping up as we sort of, a new school year, as it were, as we get into that latter part of the year. That's when things start to ramp up. And hey, if we're honest, Stadia straight out of the box on Tuesday, following my show, as I predicted, which bodes well. It bodes well for the next few weeks, next few months. Anyway, so as is tradition on these shows, we shall go to the Stadia community blog. So as we talked about last week, because Katamari Damacy Reroll was certified, we talked about that. So that was certified last Monday, came out the following day on Tuesday, and at a ridiculous price, I seem to remember. About £5.40, £5.50 in the UK, which is like impulse buy, no money. Having said that, I didn't buy it. Busy, but I'm definitely going to buy it at that price. No brainer. Absolutely no brainer. Let me know whether you've bought Katamari. It's a strange old game, but I remember it in its original form on, I think, the PlayStation 2. Darkwood as well. Hearing a lot of good things about that. Another one that's on my list. But as I said, I've got so many games to play, I'm sort of a bit backed up. Go and see a doctor then. Have some prunes. No, not like that. Game backed up. I'm backed up by games, But there we are. $14.99 in your US dollars. Not bad. I don't know how long the game is. Has anybody completed it yet? All of that kind of stuff. But the really big news for me, massive news, when you think about it, was this, ladies and gentlemen. PGA Tour 2K21 arriving tomorrow in Stadia Pro. Now, I played it on its free weekend. So it did have a free weekend a few months ago, and I played it then. So, yeah, I claimed it straight away, of course. But this is massive, yeah? Because this is Take-Two. Take-Two, who, of course, are part of Take-Two. This is 2K, who are, of course, part of Take-Two Games, yeah? Who apparently have abandoned Stadia. Apparently. Or they're still doing deals. It's interesting as well. Yeah, I know we've got PGA Tour 2K22 coming out, not necessarily on Stadia, we don't know. But knowing that the CEO of Take-Two, Strauss Zelnick, has often quoted, and I saw on an Xbox Reddit, them all moaning that, something he's always said and he's always stuck by, is he doesn't like new titles launching on subscription services, but he does see the value in exploiting the back catalog on subscription services. Well, hello, here you go. Take-Two Games via 2K21 are exploiting effectively back catalog, a year-old game of, I would say, on Stadia Pro. That's a big title to get on Stadia Pro. It's a bit like when we got Formula One, I would say, on Stadia Pro. Was that the beginning of the year? Yeah, right back in, remember those days, back in January or whatever, we got Formula One. In fairness, that was only a few months after Formula One was released, but that was a big signing. So could this deal have been done ages ago? Is this deal part of the new publisher deal? And would it be a good chance for 2K21 to see the value in being part of a subscription service like Stadia Pro? But let me know what you think. It's, to me, it's massive, right? Because a lot of people have said, oh, that's it, Take-Two, we're not seeing any sequels. And we're not seeing, we haven't seen any announcements about, as I say, PGA Tour 2K22 or NBA 2K22. And that is, that is disappointing. But conversations, deals are clearly being done somewhere down the line. There's still conversation or deals still in place, as demonstrated by PGA Tour 2K21 coming to Stadia Pro. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a big thing and should not be overlooked, right? Because it undermines, and I'll come to this again a bit later on in a sort of slightly more ranty bit, it undermines those that use, the lack of 2K titles, or that 2K are not interested in Stadia, Take-Two not interested in Stadia. It sort of undermines that argument, yeah? Maybe on new games they're not. Maybe that's a valid, case. But there's conversations. It's not, the gates haven't been closed. The bridges haven't been burnt. There's ongoing deals being done with a major publisher. So there we go. And we can rely on Four Scars, John. They announced new content for PGA 2K21 today as well. So there you go. And it's a great little fun game. You can get as much into it as you want, or you just play it casually. Like I played it over the free weekend that was a few months ago, as I said. And talking of free weekends, we've had, I mentioned last week we'd had so many. We had about 4 or at least 3 in August. Well, hello. How about 2 in one weekend, ladies and gentlemen? Free play days, free weekends in one weekend, including one of the biggest games of the year, right? The regular Madden NFL 22. Now, in fairness, they were doing this promotion multi-platform, yeah? But that's fine. That's fine. The point is, that's a significant promotion, to come and try Stadia Pro and try Madden NFL 22 over the weekend. Basically for $8.99 in the UK or $10 in the US, you can try Madden NFL 22 and another 20 to 30 odd other games. And while you're at it, why not have a go at Rainbow Six Siege, which seems to be constantly having weekends? Did we not only have a weekend as we partook in the community event with grace of Google, etc.? That was a few weeks ago, and that was a free weekend, wasn't it? But anyway, Rainbow Six Siege. So 2 free weekend plays for Stadia Pro. Now, I know some people saying, why do you have to be locked with Stadia Pro? But you know what? That's giving Stadia Pro extra value. Stadia Pro is not just about the games you can get on Pro. It's about the massive discounts you get in the sales. And you do get massive discounts. I was rewatching an interview between Jeff Keighley and Phil Harrison way back in June 2019 at E3. And he talked about, offering good discount deals. And they do that. And that's a real value. And then the other real value of being a pro is every so often you get these massive free weekends. So, this is very encouraging. And as I said, it's not as though Madden NFL 22 was an exclusive free weekend to Stadia. I'm not saying that. It was part of an overall marketing exercise by EA across platform, multi-platforms, because the NFL season's starting again. So, that makes sense. But pretty big, this is all big, big stuff. This whole Tuesday was a big announcement. And then new content announced for Crater, of course, which is free to play, more DLC, more Battle Pass there for Crater. But let me know whether you played Rainbow Six Siege. I play it anyway because I've got it as part of Ubisoft Plus. But let me know whether you played it, Madden NFL as well. I was going to get round to play it because I remember Madden 21 had a free trial. Or was it a low discount? No, it had a free trial, I think. Anyway, so there you go. That's the sort of the main the main news from the community blog last week, as I said. And that's, that's a pretty hefty good news blog, all of that. That's impressive. A double weekender, as it were, 2 free weekenders, a stealth drop, even though we know it had been certified. Effectively, Katamari Damacy was a stealth drop. Nobody knew it was coming, really, other than the fact it had been certified the day before. Darkwood, and of course, Life is Strange. Oh, I completely forgot. Life is Strange 2 Colors. Okay, a big, I wouldn't say a AAA game, but a big AA game, launching on multiple platforms, day and date, and all of that, of course it is, was available in the store as well. Let me know whether you played that as well. As I say, I played original Life is Strange a long time ago when it was briefly either a Xbox Gold Live game. Yeah, very briefly before it stopped being one. Yeah, and I enjoyed that. But again, so many games, I haven't got around to buy it. I don't know if I want to buy it. I might wait for a while. But there we go. I'm just going to have a quick look to see if we've got Marvin the Paranoid Android in the comments. It'd have to be a stretch to be moaning about this. There's John. Just have a quick look. Is Marvin the Paranoid Android in here? There's me. No, he must have gone because it's, yeah, it would have been a stretch even for Marvin the Paranoid Android to find something depressing about any of this. There's so much stuff just on one Tuesday. So a good blog. Let me know what you think. But I think it was a good blog overall. Pretty impressive. You didn't see what I was doing then. Sorry, I was just scrolling through the comments to see whether I could find my old friend Marvin the Paranoid Android in here, who always moans. Nothing. He's never happy. But even he could not find anything to moan about. It was that good, ladies and gentlemen. It was that good. Keep this fact in the noggin for later on, ladies and gentlemen, please. Keep this fact in the noggin for later on. But anyway, in other news, ladies and gentlemen, again, exciting news. We've got an official announcement. Peppa Pig. So our friends at Outright Games, talking of friends of Outright Games, we know who is a friend of Outright Games, don't we? We know a friend. John is a friend of Outright Games. Anyway, Peppa Pig officially announced. When is it? Here we are, October the 22nd. Peppa Pig, part of the massive collection of Outright Games, kids games coming to Stadia. Announced here, October the 22nd, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, PC, digital platforms, and Google Stadia. Stadia! So there we go. Peppa Pig, massive IP, popular with the kids. Official date, official announcement there. So that's all good. Loving that. But there's more, as they say. But there's more. There's more. Like something on QVC, a shopping channel, yeah? But there's more. There is more, ladies and gentlemen. And this is thanks to John Scars Gaming, of course, to our good friend John. Yeah, because we know Outright Games, they've already released a handful of games on Stadia. We know we've got Peppa Pig coming on Stadia. Well, Mr. Lovely himself, John Scars Gaming, friend of Outright Games, they quoted him here. And let's just get rid of that. This is from a tweet from Outright Games. New adventures are on the way. Our friend at 4 Scars Gaming has put together this wonderful compilation of our upcoming releases, everything you need to know about them, to which he later added gameplay videos. So check out all the games coming. And John has confirmed later on, I can't see it here, but you can maybe confirm it in the chat. John has confirmed that all the games featured in his Let's have a look. Let's have a look at his little blog post, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Here we are. So, Fast and Furious Spy Races. Let me give it big so you can see it there. So this is courtesy of John here, confirming it all. Fast and Furious Spy Races, Rise of the Shifter, all the platforms, Stadia, November the 5th. Okay, so you've got Peppa Pig, October the 22nd. Fast and Furious, November the 5th. Blaze, all the platforms, Stadia, October the 16th. So a week before Peppa Pig. Blaze and the Monster Machines. My Friend Peppa Pig, we said. PJ Masks, Heroes of the Night, all the platforms, Stadia, October the 29th. So like one a week. You got one a week for 3 weeks. No, for 4. You got one a week for 4 weeks. Addams Family, one a week for 5 weeks. You got Addams Family, Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox, PC, blah, blah, blah. Stadia, coming out on Stadia, October the 24th. Addams Family. Any more? That'll do. Oh, look. Who's that? That looks like a crime photograph. Is that your wanted photograph, John? You should be like holding up a number. And there should be like lines behind, like height lines behind your, behind your head there. I'm joshing you. Anyway, thank you very much, John, for that. But so that's what, 5 games, ladies and gentlemen, 5 games coming out from the end of September right through to the first week of November, based on roughly one a week. Yeah. It's courtesy of our friends at Outright Games. So there we go. But there's more, ladies and gentlemen, there's more. So remember last week, ladies and gentlemen, remember last week when on Monday we spotted that Katamari, complete stealth drop as it was, had been certified for release on ESRB, the ratings board, had a rating on ESRB on the Monday, and then on the Tuesday, it was stealth dropped by Stadia. Well, remember that, ladies and gentlemen, because what's popped up on ESRB today? Well, I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you. Super Animal Royale has been officially certified. Now, we know from the developer stroke publisher that it was coming soon. So this released officially on all platforms a couple of weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, with them announcing it's coming to Stadia very, very soon. So we knew that Stadia was only a couple of weeks behind the cycle, as it were. So, not day and date, but they were it was closely following it. Of course, this is a multi-platform, a cross-platform game. Yeah, a battle royale, cross-platform. So no problems with queuing, anything like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It looks a super fun game. I know John Scars has played some of the alpha version before it was officially launched and stuff like that. So speculation here. Speculation. Could we see it announced tomorrow? Could it drop tomorrow? Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think anyway. There we are. Yeah? Could we see this launching tomorrow? I reckon we could. Oh, look at that. Thank you, Mr. Scars. Is that all it takes, me to just throw a few compliments? Yeah, John, I'll do it every week. Thank you very much. Really appreciated the finest $5 Canadian money can buy. Thank you very much, John. Really much appreciate. Look, there's me alerts catching up now. Whoop, whoop. Loving it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Thank you very much, sir. Much, much appreciated. Anyway, there we go. So, yeah, what do you reckon? Let me know in the chat whether you think we're going to see Super Animal Royale drop tomorrow. I hope so. I think it'd be really cool if we do. In other news, ladies and gentlemen, in other news, it keeps coming. It keeps coming. I think it's shout out to Peter Cottonfield on this one, who I know is a big supporter and is always defending Stadia vehemently in Twitter. So good job, sir. Anyway, DS Fish Labs. Whole day. Deep Silver Fish Labs, Deep Silver publisher, posted a job here. So they are bringing out Chorus, is one of the games that are coming out. So Peter Cottontail highlighted this for me. So shout out to Peter. I forgot what job it was now. Let's have a look at this. Anyway, the point is, in one of these jobs, let's go back to the original tweet. Where's that? Anyway, in one of these jobs, obviously Stadia experience required. I only mention it because it's good to see that, you know, it was saying experience necessary for delivery on PlayStation, Xbox, and Stadia. It's good to see Stadia being part of a publisher or developer's sort of standard qualification requirements, because it means that developers and publishers are factoring Stadia into their thinking. So that's really cool. Marcus, thank you for the finest £3 Much appreciated, sir. Thank you. Did my pop-up, did I miss the pop-up there? Anyway, much appreciated, sir. Much appreciated. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention it because it's good to see. I forget which job it was now, but trust me, it was on there. Good to see that developers and publishers are factoring in Stadia as a requirement. Oh my God, it's going crazy here. Project Storm in the house. Whoop, whoop. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you for that super chat. Much appreciated. It's coming. It is coming, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming. So there we go. A lot happened. A lot happened. Right. I'm building to it, ladies and gentlemen. I know I'm building to it. Trust me here. Trust me. I've just realized I don't have the... bear with me here. Like a professional. Yeah, like a professional. I don't have the blooming link that I wanted then. But I have it. I've got these things backed up. I'll tell you, man. I've got these things backed up. Right. Let's go. So, last week, it was announced that Jack Booser, okay, Stadia exec, one of the probably the popular Stadia execs, you know, within the community, massive gaming experience. He was at PlayStation Now, rolled that out. 25 years, I think, in the business, something like that. Sort of head of Stadia product manager, has the relationships with publishers, developers like that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? He's leaving Stadia. Okay? He's leaving Stadia. But he's not leaving Google, ladies and gentlemen. He's not leaving Google. So this was the article. There were articles talking about this article. I'm missing some bits out, weirdly. So I never understand why you would read another article that quotes the source article without reading the source article. So we are going to go deep, baby. We're going to go deep on this source article. Anyway, here we go. This is from ZNet here. Google Cloud. And it's important that we listen to some of the language used in here and some of the quotes and stuff like that. Let me just kind of forward ahead my thing here. Right. Because I want to do this properly. I want to give it justice, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give it justice. Okay, so Google Cloud is staking its claim in the fast-growing gaming industry. Okay? Remember, this is the Google that doesn't care about gaming. Okay, remember that? You hear that? Google don't care about gaming. Yeah, they don't care about gaming. Okay? Google Cloud is staking its claim in the fast-growing gaming industry, creating, okay? So this is creating a role. Again, bear that in mind, yeah? Creating a role. Not somebody's left and then they've taken somebody from another department and promoted him or stuck him in there. They've created this role especially because this role is lining a new importance, okay? A new importance to gaming to Google, okay? And that's the key thing to bear in mind. So they've created a new executive role focused on gaming solutions, cloud gaming, or Google Cloud, sorry, not cloud gaming, apologize. Google Cloud, and that's important, and I'll come to it. Google Cloud is tapping Jack Buser, who currently serves as director for games for Stadia, Google's cloud gaming platform, to spearhead the effort. So they're setting up this section, yeah, gaming solutions within Google Cloud. Okay, this is why it's important. And wait a minute. As Google Cloud's Director of Global Gaming Solutions, Director of Google's Global Gaming Solutions, say that when you had a pint, Buser will report to the VP of Industry Solutions, Laurie Mitchell-Keller. So she's basically the VP of Google Cloud, okay? But to understand why this is important, okay? So Buser's new role sheds light, okay? It sheds light, it reveals, it underlines, puts a spotlight on the evolution of Google's gaming strategy as it puts more focus on serving as a platform for third-party game publishers and developers. It also cements gaming as a crucial category for Google Cloud, putting it on the same level, ladies and gentlemen, on a par, that's what that means, on a par with other key verticals like healthcare, retail, and manufacturing. Google Cloud sees incredible momentum across all industries, and gaming is one of the key verticals which we're investing in. Okay, gaming. And it goes on about Stadia and how Stadia recently added its 200th unique game. But meanwhile, Google Cloud runs services such as game servers, managing multi-cluster game server feeds, all of this, investing in esports, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, if you've not read the article, read it, okay? Read it, ladies and gentlemen. Read it. Now, before I really rev up here, shout out to Consignio for another beautiful 5 US greenbacks. Thank you, sir. Anyway, so why is this important? Why am I particularly so excited about this? Why should you be excited about this? Well, I'm going to take you through it. In order to understand how important, how significant this is for Stadia and gaming for Google generally, we need to do more than just read a headline or a single article, right? Right now, if you're not aware, for the Alphabet company, so Google's basically the mothership, we're not talking Google, we're talking Alphabet, For Alphabet, Google's mothership, the number one priority in their business right now is Google Cloud. It is their major push, their major business strategy above all else, yeah? Above search engines, yeah, above Pixel phones. The number one push is Google Cloud, okay? Basically selling the power of Google Cloud to enterprise and business, okay? This is something that until recently has not always been a priority for Google. Unlike Amazon with their AWS, I mean, that's why Amazon are number one in the world, because they offered cloud enterprise operations and services and facilities years ago, and they built that. And that's why it represents 50% of Amazon's profit. It comes from the Amazon cloud, Amazon AWS. Okay. The same with Microsoft and Azure. They're kind of ahead of Google, and they kind of got to the, they focused on that before Google, because Google had been concentrated on perfecting the cloud for their own use, for Gmail and on all their products, Gmail, YouTube, whatever it is. But now Google Cloud is the number one targeted area of growth for Alphabet, and they are sinking billions into it. Okay, and this has been highlighted. It's not just me saying this. I'm saying this because Alphabet have said it, in their quarterly earnings. This has been highlighted at a number of quarterly earning reports for the Alphabet Group. Okay, and a simple search will find you articles talking about this. So, I found an article here from Inc.com, and this was before a quarterly announcement earlier in the year. And we'll just talk about it. This is Google's most important business. No, it isn't search advertising. Google Cloud might not be sexy, but it's gaining traction with the enterprise customers it will need to power Alphabet's long growth. Google Cloud is essential to the Alphabet Group for powering long growth, because the advertising market is stagnant. That is the thing. Google has a lot of very interesting businesses. Yeah, they have a lot of fun, sexy businesses. You know what I mean? Alphabet, the parent company of the world's most popular search engine and advertising platform. There's obviously things like Gmail, Google Docs. There's wacky projects like Google Glass and self-driving cars and big bets and Google Fiber and Google Nest Home and Pixel smartphones. We know that. And they make up roughly 15% of the company's revenue, those. While that still leaves advertising as the most dominant business, is it still the most important? That was the question asked. And it's not, as announced by their quarterly announcements about how much they're investing in Google Cloud. The answer is a bit complicated, but the simple answer is no, which leads to another question. What is Alphabet's most important business? I recommend paying attention when Alphabet announces its quarterly earnings tomorrow, especially when they talk about other revenue beyond, to search for a clue. That's because it turns out that Google's most important business is easily one of the most boring. Google Cloud. Like I said, boring. Sometimes boring is really good. And it goes on. But the point is, and then subsequently in the quarterly earnings announcements, Sundar Pichai came out and he said, the Alphabet Group basically said, we're all in on Google Cloud for enterprise and all of that. Okay. So we've established that now. Okay. That's how important Google Cloud is. Right. So now we've established how important the Google Cloud as a business is to Google, to Alphabet. Okay. So now they've created a role. Okay, Google, stop. Google's listening in. Okay, as I said, so we've established that Google Cloud is the number one priority, okay? That's established. Done that, proved it, thank you. Right. The next bit then is the appointment of Jack Buser to head the global gaming solution, which cements gaming as a crucial category for Google Cloud. Yeah? as it said in that article, the previous article, putting it, oh my God, not kebab shops, putting it on a par with a handful of other key verticals like healthcare, retail, and stop it. Putting it on a par with key verticals like cancelled. Stop it, Google. Putting it on a par. Google chatting away. Putting on a par with healthcare, retail, and manufacturing and gaming. So there we are. They are your 4 columns that support the push for Alphabet Group for Google Cloud. Google Cloud sees incredible momentum across... Google Cloud sees incredible momentum across all industries, and gaming is one of those key verticals we are investing in, said Google. Okay, to that ZNet article. So Google... I don't know how to help with that. I've got to switch off all my Googles. You can try. Stop it, Google. So Google Cloud, remember, is a priority for the Google Group. It's building its business on 4 key areas: healthcare, retail, manufacturing, and gaming. So don't ever doubt. I can only do that once I verify your voice. Stop it, Google. Google, stop. Then checking your voice match settings. I'm taking your mic off. The mic's off. Good. Mic's off now. Right. Yeah? That's how important gaming is to Google. So don't ever question or doubt Google's commitment to gaming or listening in to me doing this show. Yeah, don't ever doubt their commitment to gaming. I mean, you see people, you know, Google don't care about gaming. Yeah, you don't care about facts, would be my response, sir or madam. Gaming is now a priority as part of their company's overall growth strategy. That's how important it is. Yeah. Why? Why is that important? Google's interest in gaming should come as no surprise. The industry is sizable and growing. Of course it is. It's a growth business, gaming. It's generating around $176 billion via consumer spending in 2021. $176 billion spent on gaming in 2021. This is according to research firm Newzoo. Okay. In addition, check out this report, a recent report, ladies and gentlemen, from a gaming industry consultant. Not Dave down the pub. Yeah. This is a report. This is a report. I've gone and switched my phone off. It's got my what's it on there. Anyway, there we are. Okay, so there's a report here from industry consultants, okay? Industry consultants who are paid big bucks to analyze the industry, as I said, right? Okay. Not some ill-informed speculation by Dave down the pub, yeah? Or some random wannabe YouTuber game journalist who kind of bought a couple, you know, who happens to own a couple of consoles, suddenly thinks they're an industry expert. Yeah? No. Highly paid consultants whose job it is to research this kind of stuff. And here we go. So this is a report, as I said, by Nico Partners on Asia's cloud. So we're talking only in Asia here. Cloud gaming, and this is only about cloud gaming as well. Asia's cloud gaming addressable market will triple to 500 million by 2025. The addressable market in Asia, they expect to triple to 500 million by 2025. That's not long far ago. And here's the Asia's cloud gaming ecosystem. Bear in mind Stadia is not in Asia. It's only in Europe and North America, yeah? So it's not in Asia yet. So bear that in mind. But here is the cloud computing section here. And you've got Tencent Cloud. We know are massive in Asia. AWS, Amazon, Google Cloud IBM Cloud, Microsoft Azure, NVIDIA, Intel, Cisco, IBM, all the big regular people you expect. Then you've got cloud gaming solutions here from Alibaba Cloud, Black Nut. People know these, some people might know this company, things like that. Publishers, Ubisoft, Capcom, Square Enix, all of that. You've got business to customer clouds. You've got Xbox Games Pass, because we know that's available in some territories like in Japan and Korea. So we know that it is available in Asia. PlayStation Now, obviously available in Japan and stuff like that. But this is just indicating how significant, not only have I just established that the gaming business is worth $175 billion. So why would Google walk away with that? Why would Google shut Stadia down because of that? The cloud gaming business in Asia alone is expected to see 500 million basically users by 2025. Yeah. Stadia hasn't even launched there yet. So we can understand, yeah, to buy that report, yeah, to buy this report, just to kind of put value on how significant and important and well-researched these sort of reports are, will set you back $5,000. This isn't some kind of journalist report. This is a proper industry consultant report from top industry consultants. It's going to cost you $5,000. I remember when here he goes. He's going to talk about when he worked in the gaming industry. I remember these reports and getting sort of emails about it when I worked in the gaming industry. And as a company, you would invest $5,000 in getting that report to see what the future of gaming is. So it's valid stuff. So of course, Google are interested in the potential of cloud gaming. Okay, this is what we've established. It's like a lawyer. Okay, I've established how important, how strategic the move by Jack Buser is, how significant gaming is now to Google, because of the strive for cloud, the strive for cloud, Google Cloud, and how gaming is an absolute central column of that now. So all of that, right? You can see the potential of cloud gaming. Equally, why would Google drop Stadia now? It would make no sense. All the investment they've already made, the 5 years, 10 years of technology, 5 years of recent technology, 5 years of investment. Yeah. But what do we mean? What do we mean by Google gaming? Okay. This includes YouTube gaming. Yeah. When we talk about Google gaming, Stadia is just part of that. YouTube gaming. See the recent signings of Dr. Lupo, Tim the Tatman, and rumored Nick Merckx. Now, if you don't know who these are some of the biggest streamers in the world, and they're leaving Twitch. And so Dr. Lupo and Tim the Tatman have signed massive exclusive deals to YouTube, joining the likes of Dr. Disrespect, some of the biggest streamers in the world on YouTube gaming, on YouTube. Google Gaming also includes building out developer tools for the gaming industry, not necessarily for Stadia, but tools that the gaming industry can use, powered by the cloud, as recently announced at a Google Gaming seminar. So they provide specific tools for developers. Google Gaming also includes working with partners like Take-Two. Yeah, Take-Two. Yeah, them. Literally. In building a multiplayer platform and multiplayer tools specifically aimed at publishers and developers who want to host their multiplayer games, their massive online multiplayer games, in the cloud. That's a Take-Two and Google Cloud partnership. Yeah. Building on those partnerships. This is what Jack Buser's there for, to build partnerships. It means investing in esports, like the deal they've done with Activision Blizzard to host Call of Duty and the Call of Duty League. And it means Stadia. Ladies and gentlemen, it means Stadia as well. Stadia is part of that pie. To emphasize this, right, if you doubt me, I quote the VP of Google Cloud, okay, in that original article, the VP of Google Cloud, who said, Jack's hire illustrates Google Cloud's continued investment into our global customer-first gaming strategy, and his 5 years at Google Stadia, will help open doors for broader strategic partnerships with customers across YouTube, Stadia, and more. Okay? Across YouTube, Stadia, and more. This is a quote not from somebody in Stadia. This is a quote from somebody higher up in Google, the VP of Google Cloud. You know, she's probably only 2 stops down from Sundar in terms of, you know, the matrix, the organization, the org chart. Yeah. She's talking about YouTube and Stadia in the same sentence on the same level. Just bear that in mind, what she's saying, to open doors for broader strategic partnerships with customers across YouTube, Stadia, and more. Stadia is being mentioned, as I said, at the same level as YouTube by the VP of Google Cloud. Remember what Phil Harrison said back in the day, back in 2019, ladies and gentlemen? Can you remember what he said? I'll tell you what he said. Let's just clear that off. I'll tell you what he said, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just take that off there. And we'll watch this. Let me just put it on. This is what he said.
Yes, and you will also see in due course, relatively...
Hey, what is going on? So my order for
Huel, buy some Huel while you're here.
Has just arrived. It's pretty
short order from now, you'll see...
Let me just take it back a bit.
Destiny's on the system, which now be free to play, but you'll allow other free-to-play games as well on the system?
Yes, and you will also see in due course, relatively short order from now, you'll see publishers starting to think about their own subscriptions as well.
Right, okay.
So we support that on our platform.
Okay.
So that was back in 2019. And what he was talking, you'll hear, you know, he was talking in the plural about seeing subscription services from publishers, and they would be making an announcement in short form. Of course, subsequently, they went on to announce Ubisoft Plus. It would be on Stadia. And it was a long time coming, but it, you know, well, certainly to Europe it was, and it ended up coming. So this is in 2019. So it was always part of the vision that we'd see potential channels like Ubisoft Plus. So that's always been part of the strategy. And with some of the moves about building strategic partnerships, it looks like that strategy is still very much part of the bigger picture as well. So could we see the likes of EA Play? Could we see a Take-Two channel? Yeah? But it's just kind of worth feeding all this back to 2019 to see how it all sort of fits into the bigger picture. So there you go. Gaming is central, is one of the central columns of Google's biggest priority right now. And right in the middle of that, right part of that, is Stadia. Stadia now is closer to and has become more important, if we didn't know it, certainly now we know, is more important to Google's key central strategy. And with someone heading up global gaming solutions, yeah, there is more chance for greater synergy, corporate bullshit word, yeah, corporate synergy across those gaming elements I mentioned, like YouTube gaming, yeah, like the developer tools, like hosting publisher channels, yeah. There's more opportunity. You've got someone higher up now in Google, above Stadia, looking across the whole gaming portfolio. There's much greater opportunity for Stadia to take advantage of the broader strategic relationships they're having at that higher level. That is the point. This move by Google to create the position and put Jack, who is intimate with the workings of Stadia and understands how it works, in that role, in a strategic position, means that, you know, by building these strategic partnerships across the gaming industry, you can leverage different aspects of gaming within Google, whether it's, as I say, Stadia, whether it's developer tools, whether it's the cloud gaming tech. There's immense opportunity here. There is nothing more in this story than a positive move that will benefit Stadia. This is nothing more than a positive for Stadia. To see this, okay, to see this in any other way, if I'm honest, I'm going to be frank with you, to see this in any other way than positive for Stadia is a stretch. It's all there in black and white. I've laid it all out for you. You just have to see, read, do the research. To see this as anything else means you're being blind to the obvious, right? The simple solutions are, the obvious solutions are obvious, and the simple solutions are often the solutions, yeah? It's all there. So you're either being blind to that, either out of ignorance, fair enough, or just for the hell of it. Yeah? For the best, you know, if you want to kind of look into this in a more kind of broader, more simple picture, kind of in a non-corporate word salad way, yeah? If you want to avoid those kind of non-industry corporate speak word salad, check out the report, ladies and gentlemen, from Eurogamer, which is probably one of the best and sort of, as expected, really, the most sort of sensible report. So this is Eurogamer here, Vicky Blake here. Google Stadia's director of games, Jack Boos, has left Stadia team to take up new position. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. She's quoting how it sees incredible momentum across the industry. Jack's hire illustrates their continued investment into global customer-first gaming strategy, partnerships with customers across YouTube and Stadia, blah, blah, blah. Then she goes on just to underline here, Google recently announced a series of new schemes designed to encourage more developers in its cloud streaming platform. This is all part of that bigger picture. And as Tom of The Verge reported, several plans, reported these new schemes. And in addition, Google just added its 200th game. I think she mentioned that somewhere as well. But this is probably the best. There we go. That's probably the best, most simplest interpretation of that general ZNet article, the significance of the Jack Booster move, without going into kind of big industry corporate talk. Check out the Eurogamer Net articles. It lays it all out there. It says Google have been making different moves, and here's another move. But quite frankly, I think this is a massive move that will only benefit Stadia in the long run. Yeah, and this Eurogamer article is really good because it pieces different strands together on a kind of more simple level in terms of, you know, the new partnership deal, the new developer deal, revenue deal for partners and Strategic Pro, this move from Jack Booster and stuff like that. But what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give the last word on this to our friend Phil Harrison, if I can get this right. Who, of course, said this.
For our industry.
We want games to be for everyone, not just the few who have an expensive box under their.
I was using Google Analytics
always ads,
and
isn't it?
hated
Always
it.
ads.
With Aribi, I can create any file.
And if we can change the model from games being device-centric, and that the games are about you rather than the box, then the games go with you wherever you are on whatever screen you are on. And we think that that is the way it should be.
Awesome. Well, Phil, thank you so much for joining us to kind of give us a little preview of this pretty compelling proposition that's going to bring games to more,
Not just the few who...
more places around the world.
That's right.
Which I'm excited about just for our industry.
We want games to be for everyone,
Yeah.
not just the few who have an expensive box under their TV.
Right.
And if we can change the model from games being device-centric,
Okay.
and that the games are about you rather than the box, then the games go with you wherever you are on whatever screen you are on. And we think that that is the way it should be.
Awesome. Well, Phil, thank you so much for joining us to kind of give us...
We want games to be for everyone, not just for a few who can afford to buy an expensive box under the TV. And I think, that's a great philosophy. Gaming should be for everyone. Why deny access to gaming? And that's what Stadia offers. Access to gaming for everyone, really, or for a greater number of people that can't afford to, or even not afford. Maybe you can afford to get a PlayStation 5, but you just can't get one. Yeah. There's no harm if you're lucky enough to have a PlayStation 5 and you love PlayStation 5 exclusives and stuff like that. Knock yourself out. Enjoy yourself. Love it. Enjoy your God of War. All of that. Well done, you. Xbox Series X. Forza's going to look amazing, right? Well done. Knock yourself out. But don't deny the opportunity for other people to enjoy great AAA games at an affordable price. Yeah? Anyway, so I just think it's the right philosophy to take. So I've been through a lot today. Yeah? I've been through a lot today. All that amazing news. PGA 2K21 being a pro game. What? New game releases. What? The stealth game drop of Katamari Damacy. What? 2 free play weekends in one weekend, including one of the biggest games of the year, Madden 22, and Rainbow Six Siege. So what? Stadia and Google Gaming becoming even more important and strategic to Google. In fact, to Alphabet, Google's mother company, thanks to the strategic personnel moves. Jack Booser moving into a role specially created for him. Say what? But apparently, all of that, everything I've just said in the last hour, everything I just spent hours talking about, all those bold moves, those future-looking investments by Google, apparently all of that is now rendered meaningless, Apparently, it's all a waste of time. Forget it, right? Forget everything I've said, All that millions invested over the last 6 years or so, all those millions invested plan now stayed as a key part of the Google strategic, cloud operation. All that future, it's over. It's finished. Yeah? Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why? It's finished. I'll tell you why. Because apparently a small indie game called Chia is no longer coming to Stadia, but is instead going to PlayStation console as a console exclusive. So apparently everything I've just said is meaningless, because Stadia's it's over because Chia's not coming anymore, to Chia, whatever it's called, it's not coming, God's sake. The levels of ridiculousness manifested by some so-called Stadia and cloud commentators, is beyond belief in statements like that. And yet, people still lap up that dribble that these people spout. And I'm saying it like that because you've got to think about the logic of what they've just said compared to everything I've just said in the last hour. Everything in terms of the millions invested, the strategic moves, all of that, the great week we had last week. Apparently all of that is rendered void because one game, a small indie game that was meant to be coming to Stadia, deal fell through, is now going to PlayStation. When you look at it in the context of the bigger picture, you see how ridiculous a statement, these sort of ridiculous bold statements that people make on Twitter and stuff. Oh, well, this is the end. See, look, it's all over. Look, that's an indication of it. Yeah. How invalid that is, because they've chosen to ignore everything else that has happened. Yeah. And the significance, the size of the significance of everything else. Surely logic dictates, therefore, that everything else they say, these people have said, is probably equally invalid and ill-informed. This is what frustrates me. Yeah? Ridiculous knee-jerk responses on something like that compared to everything else I've just said in the last hour. Look, don't get me wrong, right? It's a real shame. It's a real shame that that indie game, Chia, cup of chia, yeah, isn't coming to Stadia. Of course, it's a real shame, but that's what it is. It's a shame. You know, it's unfortunate, yeah? Nothing more. It's not the end of Stadia, especially after everything I've just said. We knew there were some game cancellations with the closure of SG&E. We knew that. We knew the axe fell on some projects. Yeah, some deals that maybe have done early doors. And maybe this is just one of those things that got canned in the process as they decided to focus on bigger games, etc. It's an unfortunate byproduct of a restructure. When I was part of a restructure, we had about 3 or 4 games in tow in development, and I had to cancel the contracts, negotiate our way out of it, because we've completely changed our business model, licensed out the IP instead of publishing it ourselves, and that IP ended up being more successful than anything we'd done as a sort of a self-contained publisher. Like significantly more, because it was Lego Star Wars. We licensed that out rather than do it in-house. And we cancelled loads of projects, which would never have been as successful as that, and licensed that out. And Traveller's Tales set up a publishing company, developed the games, published it. It did bucket loads. And then every other Lego Marvel game, Lego Star Wars game since then, millions, compared to less than 1 million of the other games that we were doing at the time. That's business. Yeah. So is it the end of a multi-million 5-year plus investment in a 20+ year kind of business plan because that game's been cancelled? No, of course it's not. Think about how stupid that is. Think about it. Now, some people aren't going to like that, but that I can't. That's the truth. How can you argue against that? That's the truth. I can't help it if you don't like that. But to think about the ridiculousness of those statements, how ridiculous those statements are. It's what frustrates me. I'm a man of logic. And if I see something that lacks logic or is not backed up or anything like that, it just grinds my gears, as they say. Should we do some chat, ladies and gentlemen? Should we do some chat? Wow. That was a bit ranty. But I had to get it off my chest. It's been festering. It's been festering, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's got to be funny, isn't it? Bloody arguing with Google. I'm trying to defend Google. Yeah, I'm trying to defend Google, and it's attacking me in 4 fronts. On my phone, on my Google Assistant. Unplug it, bro. Exactly, I had to undo the mic. Certainly was not part of the script, sir. I'm a serious YouTuber here. Yeah? Google taking the rise out of me. Oof. Yeah, apologies to anybody else if I triggered their assistance. Too right. Oh, Google is currently building 2 new cloud data centers in Germany. I think I saw that. Thank you, Inled. Yeah. This is really important. And where they can't build the data centers, they're partnering where, for instance, we mentioned about I think it was last week in India, where it's less about the data centers and more about, 5G and stuff like that. They're partnering with major telcos. That's good to know. Hopefully you get improved, even better Stadia. Yeah, Melbourne. That'd be funny when Stadia comes to Australia. All the Kotaku, and then there's these two Lehman brothers, Lehman guys who always were down on Stadia. And then suddenly Stadia launches there, plays like a dream, got more than 200 games, etc., etc. Never thought I'd see, wow, that's just the value of healthcare, isn't it? How much money is in healthcare, especially in the US. Yeah, only because healthcare's got a lot of money in it. Not as obviously healthcare is far more important, but when you look at the US, healthcare is a money printing machine rather than a kind of a benefit to the welfare, isn't it? In other countries, it's all about the money. Mobile games on the Play Store, yeah, exactly. Google Gaming is part of that. Android games, massive part of that. Yeah. Well, I think, as I said, you compare it to the market, how much money the industry spends, because that's what it's about. How much is the industry spending on, its need for cloud gaming applications? Yeah, removing their need for their publisher and the cut. Is Take-Two's PGA part of that, Do you mean a boatload of games rather than a bloat? We don't want any bloat game. We don't want any bloatware. Yeah, well, it is. I've always said, Stadia, cloud gaming, not just Stadia, cloud gaming is disruptive. Again, strategically, I work in I've mentioned before, I work one of the biggest broadcasters in the world. And iPlayer was a supplementary service. It was a catch-up service. Yeah. The main thing, as it had been for 50 odd, 70 years, were the channels. They were the main thing. They were the main driver. BBC One, BBC Two, everything else, everything was planned around those channels. And iPlayer was merely a supplementary catch-up service. Thanks to the rise of Netflix, BBC iPlayer is now the central part, believe it or not that you may notice, but is a central strategic part of the BBC. And if anything, the channels are sort of secondary to it because of how Netflix has disrupted the broadcast industry and how people consume television and film. In the same way, cloud gaming will disrupt, not straight away, but eventually it will become the norm, like Netflix and chill, gaming and chill. Yeah, not now, not next year, maybe not the year after, but I reckon by 2025 we might start seeing that kind of disruption taking root, as it were. Say, Stadia Rev, how are you? Good to see you, sir. Good show on the Sunday, sir. I always enjoy you two guys. Project Storm and Stadia Revolution bringing their show on a Sunday. If you're interested in game as a cloud, studio as a container, publisher as a platform, check out Eve Online. My son, I saw he'd sort of signed up to Eve Online at the last week. Very interesting. Yeah, I was, it looked a fun game, but there's loads of games I'm looking forward to on Stadia that always look fun because they're very good at curating and picking games, especially indie games. So look, hey, I'm not just sweeping it under the carpet. It is a shame. It is unfortunate. It is clearly a byproduct of the closure of SG&E. But to somehow use that, as your case, members of the jury, I present to you the key evidence of why Stadia is dead. Chia is no longer coming to the platform. After me, the prosecuting lawyer, had just spent an hour saying how important Google Stadia is and how Google gaming is important to Google, how important that is, your case is very, very weak, sir. Chia? Stadia dead because Chia's not there? It's not going to work, is it? It did look cool. Hey, Marco, thank you. Sounds like that's the first step in the downfall. Say what? Yeah, no funeral pyre for Stadia needed. Never has been, never will be. It'll keep growing. My house, right, has got climbers up the wall, and I'm not a gardener, so I just leave them. Yeah. In the spring, in the winter, I think, oh God, they're about 3 foot tall. Right? Because of the summer, the wet, damp summer, the hot and wet, damp summer we've had, my house looks like the lost temples in Cambodia. Yeah, you can't see my house because it's covered in vines. Right? And that's what Stadia's like, or will be like, and cloud gaming in general. Not just Stadia, but cloud gaming in general. At first, you're seeing them down there. Oh, look, it's a small part of the market. It's only over there. I'll just ignore that. And then you'll go away, and then a year later or whatever, a couple of years later, you'll come back and like my house, it'll be everywhere. Literally, my house looks like the lost temples of Cambodia. You can't find them in the jungle. A year ago, there were just some vines climbing up my wall. But that's what it happens. It's not happen. It doesn't happen instantly. It doesn't happen overnight. It's suddenly you wake up and it's the norm, like Netflix. It didn't happen overnight. It's going to follow the same model. Music down, streaming and all that didn't happen overnight. Yeah, there was the whole Napster thing. You know, that was sort of kicking the nuts from the music industry. Yeah, the peer-to-peer sharing and then streaming. You know, that it took time to evolve. But now, like, it's all about streaming. So it happened to the music industry, happened to film and television. It's going to happen to gaming. We've said it so many times. Hey, Victor, how are you? Just finished my daily Destiny 2 session. Hope you did well, sir. I hope you're enjoying it. Were you playing online with other platforms? Yes, Victor. We've had this conversation on Twitter. Stadia is their gaming platform. Yeah. Google Cloud Gaming, Stadia could well be part of Google Cloud Gaming, but Stadia is their gaming platform, and that's what it will be. Yeah, that's how I see it. There'll be other bits of Google Gaming in different ways, but Stadia is the actual platform for gaming, and that's what it's called. It's not called anything else. It's called Stadia. I don't realistically see that changing. Monkey Boy, Stadia is very important to me. Since the start of new Stadia Pro deal, which started on, not many games have left Pro. Maybe from now on, the Live Pro library will keep on growing. Yeah, or even, games will stay on there longer so that anybody who signs up new, instead of having, say, 26 games available to them, will have 35 or 40 games, Too many people would be shy to put their games on Pro as the share out would be small. That's a valid point. It'll be interesting to see how it works. Although it's a balance, isn't it? Because if it's driving more subscribers, there's more money in the pot. So you might be getting a smaller share, but you're getting a smaller share of a bigger pot. So it's a balance, isn't it? You drive to make the Pro offer more compelling by having games on there for longer to get more subscribers. Get more subscribers, the publisher might get a smaller share, but they're getting a smaller share of a bigger pie. So it's a balance. Her headline emphasizes staying with the co-op. I think you mean with the group, yeah. The point is, now you've got some, I always say, you've got somebody in the room now, higher up in the Google chain, who knows Stadia, who work for Stadia. Often when somebody from a particular department, let's call it department, moves onto the top table, which effectively he's doing, the department where he came from often has more focus put on it because it's still in his head. So when you're having those strategic partnerships or those strategic discussions, he can sort of say, I'll tell you what we could do. You know, we could get them to throw a deal in for, you know, this big strategic partnership we're discussing with Activision or Take-Two or whatever. We should maybe wrap in an offer of Stadia, you know, offering them a Stadia platform for something, you know, as part of the deal. He's got it in his head. So it's sort of foremost in his head. So that's one of the great advantages of those sort of things. Streaming even happened to specialist radio programs. Exactly. Look at podcasts. Where did that come from? Yeah. I mean, BBC created its own podcast app called Sounds because podcasting is, I mean, I listen to a few podcasts. This is meant to be a podcast. I just can't be bothered to keep, you know, saving the audio and posting it. But it's massive. Exactly. And that's disrupting radio. People don't necessarily listen to radio in the same way they did. They like to listen to podcasts. They like to have a long listen. That's a complete different change of the way that we used to do things. That's another disruption. 16 months. Was that PUBG? Stadia Rev? I think PUBG, wasn't it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He will no doubt have Stadia. But Stadia's important, right? It's an important part of it, right? And the name is not check Google Cloud Gaming. Because why? Because if you follow that logic, people will go, oh, well, they'll just call it Google Cloud Gaming, yeah? You might then just call it, that's like saying, well, we'll change YouTube's name to Google Game Streaming, yeah? Google Live Game. Let's just change, you know, which is ridiculous. Of course you wouldn't do that. Or siphoning off YouTube Gaming and calling it, you know, something else. It's a brand. Each does a purpose. YouTube has a purpose. Stadia has a purpose. There are lots of other things, you know. Google Play. That's what it's called. It's not called Google Games for phones or anything. It's called Google Play. That's their brand. Slow and steady wins the race, exactly. I'm still saying how the large has failed to promote Stadia properly. Well, it's relative, isn't it? I would say. It's not about a scattergun approach. Maybe you're not seeing the adverts. Maybe they're not aimed at you. But the marketing budgets are relative to the size of the market. And the size of the market for Stadia is not that big. And we have to accept that. No one's here saying, it's big as Xbox. They don't have the same marketing budgets as Xbox. And they don't have the same marketing budgets as PlayStation or Nintendo, yeah? Your marketing budget, you say, okay, in a business model, a business plan, you'll say, we'll spend 30% of the overall kind of cost, whatever, 30% of the budget, sometimes more. 30% of the budget goes on marketing. Well, Xbox budget is significantly more than Google Stadia's budget. I can tell you that for now, all right? Because it's basic business. PlayStation's is even bigger than Xbox's probably, although Xbox may emphasize more on the marketing. So you say it's 20%, 30% of the overall value of the business we're going to spend on marketing. So it's relative. They don't have the same budgets. I did, James Adam, I did see that article. I read it, and even in the article they said they might have got it wrong. We don't know. It might just be a different kind of Android TV. But we know they're aggressively pushing Google TV. I was surprised at how little territories it was actually in, to be honest. But we know that they're pushing it. Is on the TCL TVs, is on the Sony, on Android TVs, on Sony TVs. LG going to be running their own app for Stadia. as per a forthcoming review of the LG C1. Ladies and gentlemen, look out for that review on my channel soon. But yeah, my eyes did light up initially when I read that article, and then I kind of realized it lacked a bit of substance. There's a lot of speculation in there. So it's interesting. I hope they're making those moves, but it'll be interesting. They're reaching who they need to reach. They aren't wasting a dime on ponies and bots until 24, 26. Yeah, you see, the thing is about advertising nowadays is it's so targeted that they may be doing loads. You just might miss it because it might not be targeted at you, ironically enough. Anyway, look, I'm going to wrap it up there, ladies and gentlemen, because I went full on ballistic a bit there. Yeah, I think we all want Stadia to succeed. Why wouldn't we? And of course it will, you know, but slow and steady. Yeah, put them in the trash. Yeah. Exactly. Deals have been done, you know, and then you do one deal across the business, and when you've got somebody sitting on the top tier table and they go, oh, you've just done a business to host, you know, Activision Blizzard's online multiplayer games. Maybe we could have a conversation there about getting Activision Blizzard channel on, you know, as part of the, you know, Stadia, offer the Stadia platform as a, you know, a sort of a host for the platform, the channel, sorry. You know, things like that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, anyway. I want to thank you, everybody who was in the chat today, for listening to me rant off for a bit, all going crazy, all of that. I've no idea how it's put only 200 max players on Madden 22 free week. Really? Well, there we go. Definitely need crossplay, don't we? That is the big, we know it's coming, but they need, I think publishers and developers need to get on that a bit more, to be honest. Get that crossplay going. We know it works, you know, Rainbow Six Siege, PUBG, all those things, Division 2, it works super well. Destiny, hello. We need to get on that. Anyway, big shout out to everybody who came into chat today. Really, really appreciated. Really appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for all the interruptions from Google. Trying to interrupt my flow, man. Yeah, I love you, Google, but don't interrupt my show. And all of that. Thank you for all the super chats and all of that. Really, really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Hey, why don't we do this same time, same place, next week, people? Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful week. Let's hope that Super Animal Royale does come out tomorrow. Fingers crossed. I'll see, and in the great words of Sunny Cloud Gaming, I'll see you in the cloud.